Hi, and welcome to InsideTracks.co.uk. I'm Mike, and I've been trading Betfair for more than 15 years. And one of the things that really gets me excited about trading Betfair is that during big festivals, it offers opportunities to make big money almost risk-free. So, Cheltenham Festival's on our doorstep, starts tomorrow, and I'm going to share one trick with you, just one trick with you, that can make you some really good money this week. It's the best week for scalping. Now, let me just remind you of the basic rules that I set out in my basics of scalping. It's another video I did just recently. And they are rules that really are well kept. And if you do keep them, then you are in a good state for making good money. So look at your horse, the one you are going to scalp. Look and see if it's over or underweighted. That's very easily done. Take its price, take the amount of money put on it, multiply the two together, and if it comes out to more than the total amount on the race, then your horse is overweighted. If, on the other hand, you take the price and multiply the amount of money on that horse and it comes to under that, then it is underweighted. The difference between under and overweighted horses is that overweighted horses move prices less quickly than underweighted horses and therefore are less risky for you if you're scalping, because you don't want the prices to move rapidly, because that is volatility and you could be on the wrong side of that volatility. The second one is to look at the price corridors of the betting so far to make sure that this horse is not drifting radically or radically coming in and steaming, because we don't really want that for our scalping. What we want for scalping is a very narrow price corridor. So a horse that's trading between 10 and 12 regularly, going up to 12, then coming back down to 10, then going up to 12, then coming back down to 10 is what we want. And we also want small movement. So if it's going within the corridors of 10 to 12, we'd like to see it jumping up and down, say 10.5 to 11, 10.5 to 11, 11.5 to 12, 11.5 to 12, and doing it very, very slowly and predictably. Because predictability means that you can make money. Weight of money is a useful tool. There's a calculator on the website that you can use. It's worth doing during the festivals because there is less quick movement of money around, and you can work out when there's a lot of money on one side or other side. So either on the back side, the lay side, there's a lot of money on the lay side, then it's liable to come, the price is liable to come in. If there's a lot of money on the back side, then there's more likelihood that the direction of travel will be out. So weight of money is interesting, tells you the general direction of travel that's likely to happen. And of course, the fourth one is, and very, very important now in these festivals, is what is a tick worth. Now, just to remind you of that, I'm just going to show you and tell you why it's so important during big festivals. So during a normal race, say Friday afternoon at Chelmsford, you generally have relatively small fields. Okay, so normally that's normal. You don't get 20, 30 horses running at Chelmsford. You generally have sort of 8, 5, that sort of number of runners, maybe 10, maybe 12. If you're into 12, you begin to get a large number of runners. So when you have a small number of runners, and you also have a small amount of money being put on each race, so normal for a Chelmsford Friday afternoon is somewhere around about £300,000 total put on the race before the off. So if that, and sometimes if you're on a Tuesday in January at Southall, you'll maybe only get 250,000 or 200,000. So you've got a low amount of money on a small number of horses. So, and of course the prices sit here, the price range. So what is a 5-horse race liable to have as favorite? Well, the favorite is liable to be something like 1.8 if it's a decent horse, 2.5, maybe 3, but generally speaking, the favorites in most races, most Friday afternoons, in far-flung parts of the world are not much lower than 3.5 to 4. I mean, above. You don't generally get favorites coming out at 6 or 7 or higher. And therefore, what we see is that you've got some horses at the top there. Generally speaking, the favourite, say at 2, say it's even money favourite, then most of the money will be going on that favourite. And so that favourite will have some liquidity in it. But then you come out to the second favourite at 3.5, because have less liquidity. And as you start coming out into the 6 to 10s, the liquidity goes down even further. That's what I mean by the low to high liquidity. But what you also see is the return on investment tends to get smaller as the liquidity rises. So when you are doing a scalp of a horse between 2 and 3, a tick is worth 0.2. Now, in the mid-range, when you're trying to scalp at, say, 2.5, was what I mean at the mid-range, so 2.5 or 3.5 or 5. So if you're in the mid-range here and you get a tick, so you get 0.2, then you cash out at that 2.5, you've got 0.8% return on investment. That's what you've made. So not a lot, really, less than a penny on a pound. Here, if you go at the low, so if you get 2.02 and you get a click back down to 2, so you've got 0.02, sorry, and you then cash out at 2, you actually make 1%. This is not possible. 1% here is not possible because that's 1.01. It's not 0, it's 1 actually. So it's 1.01. There's no way you would be cashing out. You would be trading a horse at 1.02 to 1.01. It's daft. But anyway, so in this range of 1 to 2, it should be 1 to 2. You really do need to be making. You can do it 1.5. So 1.5 to 1.51, you'll make 0.67. So high liquidity, which is what you need to scalp, because scalping with low liquidity, you just don't get matched. In normal races with low amounts of runners and low amounts of money being put on it, you're generally getting a return on your investment around about, well, if you're getting 1%, you're doing well. If you get 2%, you're doing very, very well. So 1 to 2%, generally 1.5 is normal. Now, we're in a big field at the festival, Cheltenham, and we can find a horse to do some scalping at 10 to 10.5, get 0.5 of a tick and cash out at 10, we're making 5%. 5 times, or certainly 3 times as much as you can during a normal time. So you're getting 3 times the return for basically doing a similar thing to you would do during the week. That's why you can make money. That's why it's worthwhile doing. So let's have a look at Cheltenham tomorrow and look at all the different races. And I now know that, because I've done it before this recording, is that we have several races during this time, and we will see 22 declared runners, 450 at Cheltenham, and you can see that there's a lot of runners here, 24 of them. So let's have a look at what Betfair is doing with it so far. It's been the Cheltenham Festival. So a quick look at Betfair. So we'll go into Betfair, and we'll see that in here we have a horse here, Liari. It's currently trading between 10 and 10.5. Now let's have a quick look and see whether that horse is over or underweighted. Look at that, perfect. So what you'd love to see as a scalper is that it's been going up and down in very predictable fashion. 10 times 10, 100 plus a bit, 103. So we're talking about a pretty well-weighted horse. It's not too underweighted, not too overweight. We prefer it to be a bit more overweighted, so we prefer to see that as a 12,000, but that's okay. That's still an overweighted horse, and we can see that the pricing corridor really is between 12 and 10. Okay, we had a little bit back here, but actually that wasn't very much money. 13 and 13.5. You got 250 quid there. So generally speaking, what we're seeing beautifully, actually, for us, going forward, and if this keeps going like it does, is the perfect scenario. See, £4,163 at 10 and £4,784 at 10.5. And that's exactly what we're looking for. It's all been here. Perfect, 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 perfect chart. So if you are backing at 10.5 and laying at 10, you're getting 0.5, and then you can cash out at last price match 10. So you can cash out very, very simply. I'm doing this without any kind of trading software, because I want you to see it in the raw. But it is better and easier to do when you can have up 5 price volume charts and you can see it all in front of you on your software. But this is the way to do it if you don't have software. So what we're going to do, what we will be doing in this situation, is we'd be backing at 10.5 and then looking to lay at 10. And the thing about a chart like this, with it's so predictable in the way it's going, is that at some point when the liquidity rises, now look, we've got 100,000 on it. This is the night before. Now, I've told you that 300,000 is what you would generally get on a race total. So by 4:50 tomorrow afternoon, that's going to be somewhere near 1 million, maybe a bit more. I don't know, maybe not, but maybe a bit more than 1 million. So there's a lot of possibilities. And can you see, if we get this trade away, yeah, so even if I place both those bets together, I reckon they get, so I could do that. Let's place both those bets together. I can pretty much say that I'm probably going to get matched on both those two, looking at the chart. So I will get £2.50, and then I'll have £2.50 as a green on Eliari, which I can then trade out for my 50 odd p to give me my 5% return on investment. So so basically that's what it's all about. It's all about looking at your different big race cards and looking at the horses around about 10, 10.5, fine. 11, 11.5 is fine. It just means you're not going to get 5% each for each tick. You're going to get 4.6% or whatever. So it's fine. Between 10 and 12 is what you're looking for. This is the perfect one where you're 10.5 and 10 and 10.5 and 10. And by the way, if you see it and look at it and it goes the wrong way, maybe you've got too much on the lay side. I tend to say try and keep to backing first and laying second. But when the thing gets really quick and the prices are being taken a lot quicker than they are now, the night before, but going towards tomorrow afternoon, they'll be being taken a lot quicker. If you're on the wrong side of it going in, then you're only going to get 0.2 loss for each click. Okay, so that's the great thing. You've got one side only having a small loss. The other side, okay, is 0.5. So actually, the risk side of things is a lot lower if you're out of kilter and the price comes in too quick. So this is the way that I would go about scalping this market. Is I'd be looking at how quickly that's moving. I'd be looking at the pricing corridor. I'd be looking at the weight of this horse, which is just slightly overweighted. I'd be looking for this price corridor of 10 to 10.5, 10.5 to 11. I'd be looking to put on a bet. Generally speaking, looking at the way in which it's going to move. This does look as if it will move out slightly because the weight of money is there. You can see if you do your weight of money calculator on this one, you would say the next move is liable to be that to go to 10.5 and that to go to 11. It's going to go that way. So I probably shouldn't really put that on. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It hasn't moved very much anyway. But basically, you can look at the weight of money and see what way it's going. So, but I generally try and back first. So if I think it's going out to 11, I'll definitely back at 11, and then I'll hopefully get back into 10.5 and perhaps even then be able to cash out at 10. Start with low stakes, get a few of these scalps in the bag, and then when you've got a little bit of green in the bag, then you can up your stakes and you can start upping them to 10, to 20, 50, and certainly when it starts moving and you're fully confident in the price corridor, you're fully confident in the weight of the horse that's still overweighted, you're still confident that everything's going to plan, then you can start making not just 50p's a time, but you can start making £1 a time, £2 a time, £3 a time, which I'll tell you what, if you do this for an hour before the off, and you're getting a trade in every 5 minutes, maybe more than that actually, you can make 40, 50 quid. Easy, with very little risk. Well, I hope that was useful, and I hope you like what you hear. I've got an academy on the website. You can join that for free. It's got more than 100 videos. I did a video on the basics of scalping, so if you haven't scalped before, look at that one first, then look at this one again if you want to. I haven't done one on software. I should do one on software, but software is useful. But if you're just a beginner, then I tend to stay away from software because it can sometimes confuse. I do free webinars. I'll be doing some in the coming month or so. And if you feel you want to do one-to-one training, you can. If you're new to it, it can save you money because there's lots and lots of ways of losing money on Betfair by making silly errors. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you are more experienced, then you can join the Members Club newsletter, where I give specific tips on horses. So I'm a tipster as well, but mainly I tip up what I think are the best trades of the day. So what horses I think are going to run significantly lower than their current price, and make you money that way. And I do a back to lay, which if you understand back to lays, again they're quite successful. So I'm going to do a basics on back to lays as my next video, so watch out for that. Hope it all works out for you, and I hope everything's good for you in the Cheltenham Festival. Let me know in the comments if it has been useful. Cheers.